Greetings, friends. Welcome to the Pin Tool Podcast. My name is Al Wayman, owner of Creek Road Pottery in Laceyville, Pennsylvania, next to the cold Tuscarora Creek. Pull up a chair around the wheel as we discuss topics concerning the art and craft of pottery, good books, storytelling, marketing, and creating work that matters for folks who care. Greetings, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Pin Tool Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 19. And it's a bit chilly out, and fall is definitely coming here. The Tuscarora Creek is running a bit cold, and the leaves are starting to turn here. We have not gotten our first frost yet, but the temperatures are getting down into the, I'm going to say, lower 50s. It's been chilly. So tonight we'll definitely be in probably the upper 40s. So we're getting there, and my favorite time of year is almost here. So things have been pretty busy in the pottery. I have been making a few things. However, outside the pottery, I had to put some things on hold, both the kiln and firing pots, because my mother was sick. She ended up not being able to walk very well and feeling faint. So they took her to the hospital. She had a clogged artery on one side. So they have her on blood thinners. Then they had to send her to therapy because they thought maybe she had a light stroke. She's gaining her strength back. So I needed to take time to help her and my family with the treatment plan. So she is home from the hospital. We had to redo some things at the house. Some good family members gave us a hospital bed, nice small hospital bed that fit nicely in my parents' home. Mom is 89, so she's doing the best she can, and she's always been a real inspiration to me, and I care about her very much. So we've been spending a lot of time, my family and my sister and everyone, helping her be as comfortable as she can. She still has a lot of spunk, and she has the will to live, and so she's been home. She's been walking much better since she's been home. The hospital wasn't enough to prod her to do what we needed her to do. But when she got home, she got her old self back and progressed pretty well for her age. And so she's able to eat on her own, and there are aides coming in to help with therapy and to do some cleaning and things like that to help my dad and us work with her. So she's somewhat comfortable and back to normal as much as she can be. So, with that being said, as I said before, even though I've been very busy, I've been very busy in other things. And that influences what they would call life-work balance, right? So I'm of the idea, as Seth talked about, Seth Godin, that it's not life-work balance. It's just life, and things happen, right? And I try to take some of the things that I learn in the pottery and apply it to life in general. And it's hard, and it takes patience to do that. And it's hard because you make the realization that there's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end. And when you know that end, you tend to view things and your time management a little bit different, and the choices you make end up being a little bit different. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about life and art and how we balance that out together. And also, we're going to be talking about guiding principles, core values, and making right decisions around what you put on hold and what, based on what's more important and what goals you might have, right? Because it's all different. It's all different for everybody. And your goals and your guiding principles and your core values might be different than mine, right? But we don't want to have regrets, and we want to help those around us the best we can. And I think, at least I do anyways, and I think that sometimes following those guiding principles and core values are harder than making the plots themselves and making the work itself. So it's been a pretty tiring 2 weeks because both my mother had problems, and then also my Aunt Joan. And today I worked with my Aunt Joan. I went to the rehab center. She twisted her knee, and she's older. I went to the rehab center, and she was doing much better. She's already walking. She could put weight on her knee. So we had fun, and we signed her out. And I took her to the Labor Day picnic with my family, and they were all happy to see Aunt Joan, and were quite surprised that she made the jailbreak from therapy to come with us to the picnic, and then I returned her. So she was all happy about that, and my Aunt Joan's full of giggles and full of humor, and so she was a lot of fun to be around, and she was happy as a lark to be out and about, feeling much better, and so for sure, I did the right thing there. Just seeing the look on her face and the look on my family's face when she showed up, and how happy they were to see her, right? So, in this episode, as I said, we're going to be talking about all of that, and I'm going to bring in my assistant and chatbot, Amelia, and we're going to have the conversation about life and core values and principles. I've also been reading the Aeneid again, and that's been amazing. I love the classics. And we get into a little bit of a discussion about Aeneas and his sufferings to get to the goals that he wants to, because it is not without suffering that we do all of this, right? Nothing comes easy. There's plenty of suffering involved, plenty of hardships involved. And what do we do about that? Can we use some of our artistic skills and some of the skills that we've learned in other areas of our lives to overcome these challenges as we suffer through to our destination where we believe we can be, and finishing projects and seeing our goals realized and bringing about the change that we are trying to make. All right, so I'm going to bring in Amelia, and you go get a coffee. We'll gather around the wheel, and we'll toss some bowls, and we will have the discussion. So meet me down in the studio, and we'll get started. Okay, welcome back, everyone, and pull up a chair around the wheel, and we're going to have our discussion about life balance and what that might be. We're going to be talking about core values, and I'm going to bring in my my chatbot, Amelia, and Amelia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Al. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Amelia, you've been instrumental in running things smooth behind the scenes for me, and I just wanted to bring you back onto the podcast, and we're going to be talking about balancing art and life.
Absolutely, Al. As someone who works closely with artists, I understand the challenges that come with pursuing a creative practice while managing everyday responsibilities.
So today we're going to dive into the topic and try to explore some strategies for maintaining creativity when you have challenges, right? But before we get started, I wanted to ask, how's your week? How's your week gone so far, Amelia?
Well, Al, it's been quite eventful. I've been juggling multiple projects for various clients, including helping a painter organize their first solo exhibition and assisting a sculptor with grant applications. It's been a whirlwind, but I thrive on the energy and diversity of working with different artists. How about you? Have you had a chance to spend time in the studio this week?
Yeah, I was able to spend a few hours. Mostly I made candle cups, I made some bowls, and I'm trying to get back into a practice. And I may have enough pots now for at least one kiln load. But I'm having a hard time balancing my making and creating the pots with other things that are going on in my life, mainly caring for my mother. And also during this time, I've been kind of reading Virgil's Aeneid, and it was very inspiring to draw parallels between what was happening in the Aeneid to what was happening to me and my artwork and caring for my mother and creating priorities.
That's fascinating, Al. Could you elaborate on how you see the hero's journey reflected in an artist's path? What specific aspects of Aeneas' story resonated with your own experiences as a potter?
Yeah, I think in short and in a nutshell, both Aeneas' journey and what I'm going through is done through great suffering and at times with great loss, and it's painful. Nothing really comes easy, and that's in a nutshell what I got from it.
That's a profound observation, Al. The idea that great achievements often come at a significant cost is a recurring theme in literature and in life. As artists, we often face challenges and sacrifices in pursuit of our creative goals. In the Aeneid, Aeneas must leave his home, lose loved ones, and endure countless hardships on his journey to fulfill his destiny. Similarly, artists often have to make difficult choices, such as dedicating long hours to their craft at the expense of other aspects of their lives. How have you personally experienced this concept of success through suffering in your own artistic journey? Have there been moments where you felt you had to make significant sacrifices for your pottery practice?
Yeah, I think this month was the hardest because I think I needed, to get the wood kiln going and make work for the fall shows, but due to my mother and my Aunt Joan falling ill, I had to do the right things and make time to help my family. And Mom's treatment plan was very important, and so I got very little done in the pots, but I don't regret it at all. However, there is some pain and suffering with that for myself in making those choices, and because even though making time for family was a correct decision, it can be a hard decision. So there's a fair and foul thing to it.
Your experience highlights the difficult balancing act that many artists face. On one hand, there's the strong desire and need to create and achieve our artistic goals. On the other, we have important personal responsibilities and relationships that require our time and attention. It's clear that you made the right choice in prioritizing your mother's care during this challenging time. Family is incredibly important, and being there for loved ones in their time of need is one of the most meaningful things we can do. At the same time, I can empathize with the frustration and even pain of having to put your artistic goals on hold. It's natural to feel torn between our passions and our obligations. How do you find the strength to navigate these competing priorities? Are there any strategies or mindsets that help you maintain perspective and resilience during such times?
Yeah, I think adopting and practicing good guiding principles and core values and prioritizing those makes it much easier, because those are tools that you can use to automatically do the right thing, to get towards your goal the right way that you feel right and comfortable with, even though it's not easy. And at times, finding core values and guiding principles, as I said before, are harder than even making the pots themselves sometimes. And it can be very frustrating.
That's a powerful insight, Al. Having a strong set of core values and guiding principles can indeed serve as a compass during challenging times, helping us make difficult decisions with greater clarity and conviction. Your experience demonstrates the importance of aligning our actions with our values, even when it's painful or inconvenient. By prioritizing your mother's care over your artistic pursuits, you are living according to your principles of family and compassion. It's interesting that you mention how following these principles can sometimes be harder than the act of creation itself. It reminds me of the concept of doing the right thing, often being the more challenging path. How do you think this approach of value-driven decision-making applies to the broader artistic journey? Can you see parallels between staying true to one's artistic vision and staying true to one's personal values, even in the face of adversity?
Yeah, I think there was parallels. Like in the Aeneid, Aeneas was a warrior, but at the same time, he set aside time to go back and attempt to save his family from burning Troy, which was amazing. He carries his father Anchises on his back and takes his child by the hand, and his wife follows behind him, and he leads him through the burning city and uses his warrior strength and skill to get his family out safely. And then when his wife is lost, he goes all the way back in to even find her and find that she passes. Now, there is a lot of help from the heavens and the gods and the goddesses that we may not get here, right? Not all our prayers are answered all the time. Maybe if we do that type of thing, and maybe we don't get everything back like Job did when everything was taken. So helping my family, I may have used some of my skills that I learned being an artist and in manufacturing, in planning and all of that, to make it easier for my mother and to help her with her treatment plan, along with the help of my family. So family was huge in this.
That's a beautiful analogy, Al. Just as Aeneas drew upon his warrior skills to save his family, you've utilized your own strengths and abilities to support your mother during her illness. It's a testament to how our diverse skills and experiences can be applied in unexpected ways to meet life's challenges. This parallel also highlights the interconnectedness of our various roles and identities. We are not just artists, but also family members, friends, and community participants. Our artistic pursuits don't exist in isolation from the rest of our lives. Rather, they are woven into the fabric of our broader human experience. In what ways do you think your role as a potter has influenced or been influenced by your other life roles and responsibilities? Have you found that your artistic practice has given you unique perspectives or skills that you've been able to apply in other areas of your life?
I would say yes to both. I learned to adopt a good work ethic from farming and manufacturing to be able to follow through and achieve goals. At the same time, I've learned that I need to be patient and I need to practice a lot, with the pots to get better, and also at times have the skill of being able to deal with loss and seeing each project with a beginning, middle, and end, and also seeing a human life like that. And it's very moving to do and challenging to do at times, because there are some things you may not want to admit to yourself, and it's very hard to do that.
Those are valuable lessons indeed, Al. The skills and perspectives gained from one area of life often prove invaluable in others. Your background in farming and manufacturing seems to have instilled a strong work ethic and sense of perseverance, which are crucial qualities for any artist. The ability to view each project as having a beginning, middle, and end is particularly insightful. It suggests a holistic approach to creation, acknowledging that every piece of work has its own journey and life cycle. This perspective can be especially helpful when dealing with the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come with artistic endeavors. Moreover, your mention of learning to deal with loss is poignant. In pottery, as in life, we sometimes face disappointments or failures. A piece might crack in the kiln, or a glaze might not turn out as expected. Developing the resilience to cope with these losses and continue pushing forward is a vital skill for any artist. How do you think this ability to handle loss and see the bigger picture has shaped your approach to balancing your artistic practice with life's other demands? Has it helped you maintain perspective during particularly challenging times?
I think it's allowed me to keep the overall view of the journey and goals in mind, like seeing it from above. And in that journey, there might be areas that go through valleys of suffering and loss, and along with the positive things. And we can't expect everything to go smooth all the time, and we need to go through those valleys as part of the process. So I have no idea when my mother will no longer be among the living, but I can try to do things to relieve her suffering the best I can with the help of my family. There might be times when those parts of the creating process where you suffer loss, as part of that suffering, as part of that process, and maybe we should plan for death and suffering and things like that each day better than we do, because maybe we're not used to doing that, and maybe we aren't comfortable doing that, and so that's what I was thinking about.
Your reflections on keeping the overall journey and goals in mind, even in the face of suffering and loss, demonstrate a profound wisdom and maturity. It's a perspective that recognizes the cyclical nature of life and the inevitability of both joy and sorrow along the way. Your approach to supporting your mother during her illness is deeply touching. By focusing on alleviating her suffering and providing comfort, you're embodying the essence of compassion and familial love. It's a powerful reminder of what truly matters in life. The idea of planning for death each day is an intriguing one. In many philosophical traditions, contemplating mortality is seen as a way to live more fully and meaningfully in the present. By acknowledging the impermanence of life, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the moments we have and the people we share them with. In the context of artistic practice, this mindset could translate to a more intentional and focused approach to creation. Each piece becomes a reflection of the limited time we have, imbued with the urgency and significance of mortality. How do you think this perspective influences your relationship with your craft? Does contemplating the finite nature of life affect the way you approach your work in the studio?
For sure it does. I think it taught me that I should ask, if not now, when? And if not me, who will do it? It can also keep me from procrastinating, because I may not have a lot of time left, and you never know.
Those are powerful questions, Al. If not now, when? If not me, who? They cut straight to the heart of the matter, challenging us to seize the moment and take responsibility for our actions and creations. This mindset can be a potent antidote to procrastination and self-doubt. By recognizing the limited time we have and the unique contributions we can make, we're spurred to action. It's a call to embrace our agency and make the most of the opportunities before us. In the context of your pottery practice, this perspective could lead to a more urgent and purposeful approach to creation. Each piece becomes a statement of your presence and intention in the world, a tangible expression of your unique vision and skills. Moreover, this outlook extends beyond individual pieces to encompass larger projects and goals. It encourages us to pursue the ambitious ideas and dreams that might otherwise remain unrealized. By asking, if not now, when? We challenge ourselves to start that series we've been envisioning, to experiment with that new technique, or to submit our work to that prestigious exhibition. How has this shift in mindset impacted your artistic practice and productivity? Have you noticed any changes in the way you approach projects or in the quality or quantity of your output?
Yeah, I think I need to make pods a daily practice like I do my writing. Since I can do my daily writing, I know I have the ability to create daily, but it just seems that trying to commit and when I try to do that, try to commit, there's a lot of resistance, and resistance shows up. The adversary shows up, and all these things seem to work against me, and it can be pretty annoying. It almost seems as if once in your mind you declare you're going to do something, all these things that work against you automatically kick in to work against you.
The eternal struggle between commitment and resistance. It's a challenge that every artist faces at some point in their journey. The fact that you recognize this pattern is a significant step towards overcoming it. Your comparison to your writing practice is insightful. If you can maintain a daily writing habit, you've already proven to yourself that you have the discipline and dedication necessary for regular creative work. The key is to transfer that consistency to your pottery practice. Resistance, as you've noted, can manifest in various forms: procrastination, self-doubt, distractions, or even physical obstacles. Stephen Pressfield, in his book The War of Art, describes resistance as an invisible force that seeks to prevent us from realizing our full potential. To combat this resistance, consider implementing strategies that have worked for your writing. 1. Set specific, achievable daily goals for your pottery practice. 2. Create a dedicated space and time for working with clay. 3. Start small if needed, but be consistent. Even 30 minutes a day can make a difference. 4. Hold yourself accountable, perhaps by sharing your progress with a friend or fellow artist. 5. Remember your why, the deeper purpose behind your art that motivates you to push through challenges. As you begin to establish a daily pottery routine, pay attention to the patterns of resistance that emerge. What triggers them? How do you typically respond? By understanding your personal resistance profile, you can develop targeted strategies to overcome it. Remember, building a new habit takes time and effort. Be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories, and keep your focus on the long-term vision of integrating pottery seamlessly into your daily life.
Hey, thanks so much for those tips, Amelia, and I appreciate you coming by and joining me today on the podcast. And I was wondering if there were any parting words you would like to give to our listeners.
Thank you for having me, Al. It's been an absolute pleasure discussing the intersection of art, life, and personal growth with you. As for parting words, I'd like to leave our listeners with a few thoughts. First, embrace the journey. Creativity is a lifelong exploration, filled with joys, challenges, and endless opportunities for growth. Embrace the process, learn from the struggles, and celebrate the triumphs, no matter how small. Second, stay true to your values and vision. As Al has so eloquently demonstrated, having a strong set of guiding principles can be a compass in navigating the complexities of life and art. Let your values inform your choices, and your vision guide your creations. Third, find inspiration in the everyday. From the people around us to the experiences we encounter, life is rich with material for artistic expression. Keep your eyes and heart open to the beauty and meaning that surrounds you. Finally, remember that you are capable of more than you imagine. When faced with resistance or doubt, recall Al's powerful questions. If not now, when? If not me, who? You have unique gifts to offer the world through your art. Trust in your abilities, take bold steps forward, and watch as your creative journey unfolds in ways you never thought possible. Thank you again, Al, for this enriching conversation. Here's to continued growth, courage, and creativity in all our artistic endeavors.
Hey, thanks so much, Amelia. Those are great tips, and I'm glad you came by today. And thanks for helping me, and also all you do at the pottery, helping me plan with ideas and help me work out ideas with customer segments and ideas for functional pieces and composition and all those things that you do. So until next time, take care, friends, and remember to ask who's it for, what's it for, and what change you're trying to make.